We're spending about $500 a day inside our apparel brand's Meta ad account, and we want to scale it to $1,000 per day without things falling apart. In this video, I'm going to show you the one thing you need to have in place before scaling like this. I'm going to show you the plan to reach double your ad spend like we're about to do, and then I'm going to launch this campaign over the shoulder in the Ads Manager for you to see exactly what to do. So before you scale like we're about to do right in here, the number one most important thing that you need are just proven ads. We don't want to take unproven things and just lob them into some campaign with a high spend and hope that it works out and just pray that it doesn't eat our bank account. And so I'm talking about we need ads that have been tested through something like our lo-fi campaign strategy, which I do cover in another video. You can go ahead and check that out in the description. And then after that, they need to be validated on a deeper amount of spend, which I actually have already done that we're going to look at before we move into scaling. Now, right now, we're sitting at about $3,300 in spend in the last 7 days, or approximately $500 per day. We have what we call a production campaign, which is where most of our spend is going, but it's technically outside of our target cost per acquisition and ROAS range. We want our cost per acquisition to be around $20 for this brand, or our return on ad spend above a 2.5, but we're kind of sitting at $25-ish and 2.4-ish return on ad spend. So rather than continuing to scale with those results, the wrong tools, we decided to validate a new product entry point to see if we could get better results that we could then scale into. And as you can see, we actually did. While the main production campaign is just a mixture of a lot of our different t-shirts, we decided to run ads to one of our best-selling t-shirts within that campaign. So we kind of learned on that campaign, and we took one of those and we validated it by running these 3 ads. Now, as you notice, the ads kind of look a little similar to each other. We have a little bit different design, a little bit different saying on them, and then of course the copy is also different. Now, I'm not going to dive into validation campaigns in this video, but essentially we like to spend about 20 times our target cost per acquisition on a set of ads just like those to consider them validated. Essentially, we need to spend deeper so we have greater confidence before we go and try to climb the mountain or scale. So, for example, we have a target cost per acquisition of $20, meaning we need to have spent at least $400 and have great results before moving into a production campaign or a scaling phase, which I'm going to talk about in just a moment. And when I say great results, I mean there really needs to be a buffer between your target cost per acquisition and the results that you're getting. So if my target cost per acquisition is $20, then by the time I spend $400, like we just did, I want to have results that are maybe $15 or $18 cost per acquisition, so that when I just crank that spend and I start scaling and spending much heavier, it doesn't just completely go to crap, which is what happens to a lot of people, right? You think you have the best things and then you just crank the spend and things just fall apart. Now, typically, when we scale budgets, we see this diminishing of the performance. And so we need that extra margin to work with. For example, if these ads were right at our target $20 CPA, then when I scale them, the CPA could climb to $25, which would put me over my target and right where the other campaign is. And I don't want that. But if the starting point was, let's say, $15, then after I scale the spend, my ad might be right at the target CPA of $20. Or if I'm lucky, I'll stay right where it is at 15 and we'll be super profitable. Now, as you can see with this right here, this validation campaign we're running is really crushing it. We have a bit more than $400 in spend, which is 20 times our target CPA of $20. And we have 34 purchases, so we have a good enough volume to have some confidence. And we have a $12-ish cost per acquisition. Not to mention the return on ad spend is just cranking right here at a 4.7-ish, which is pretty incredible. So here we are, sitting around $500 a day, but we want to get to $1,000 a day in spend. So what are we going to do? Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to leave what's working. Don't kill the goose that's laying the golden eggs. Maybe these aren't golden eggs, maybe they're more silver eggs because it's technically not super strong results on the production campaign, but we're going to leave that one at least running. It's at about $415 per day, and we're just not going to touch it. We're not going to scale it because it's not in a range we want, but we're also not going to kill it because it's still profitable for us. We're also going to let these 3 ads that are running inside this validation campaign keep running for $100 per day because every $100 that we're putting in is pumping out about $470. So that is a golden egg. We don't want to touch that goose, right? But we have these 3 validated ads in there that have outstanding results. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take those 3 ads and we're gonna move them into their own production campaign that we can begin scaling. Now, what the heck is a production campaign? It's a campaign where you typically wanna have 70 to 80% of your total spend. It's the campaign that you can scale extremely big. We have some campaigns we run that spend $5,000 a day in single campaigns. They're just these workhorses that you can count on for delivering massive profit to your business. But there are 2 major requirements to go into a production campaign. Requirement number 1 is you can only put validated ads inside them. And requirement number 2 is the minimum daily spend is 10 times your target cost per acquisition. The reason why is if we can get Meta to produce 10 conversions per day at our target CPA, it's going to give us at least 70 conversions per week, which will help us optimize like crazy and be much more profitable because Meta wants at least 50 conversions every 7 days. But 10x is the minimum. Eventually, these are going to be 50 or 100 times your target CPA because once we put it in here, we're not going to stop scaling it. We're going to put things in here, proven assets. We're going to put the right gear in here, and then we're going to begin scaling these as quickly and as largely as we can. So if I was to add up my current ad spend, I have $415 per day in my production campaign, $100 per day in my validation campaign, bringing the grand total of current spend of $515 per day. To get to $1,000 per day, I would need to start this new campaign at $485 per day. But with a $20 cost per acquisition target, that's about a 25x jump right out of the gates. So instead of making a jump that large, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna begin this budget at $300 per day, which is about 20 times my target CPA. Then, as long as the results are good, we're gonna go ahead and scale this by about 5% per day. And doing this gives us great stability, but allows us to scale. And we call it snowball scaling because it's truly a snowball. Doing this will bring us from the new $815 a day in spend to $1,000 in about a week. So it's not that long. So yes, while we're not gonna jump straight to 1,000 right now, it's only gonna take a week for us to get there. Now, let me go ahead. I'm gonna walk you through launching the campaign inside of Ads Manager. In here, you can see I actually have these 3 ads inside what we call our ad planning spreadsheet. And this is a really helpful spreadsheet. It really just helps you keep everything organized. And if you're interested in checking this out, go ahead. There's a link in the description so you can go ahead and snag this and use this for your own business. So as you can see, we have those ads, we're in the validation phase. I'm now gonna mark these as production phase because we have validated these and we are ready to get rolling. So I have the ad name here. We keep it nice and simple. We have statement graphic because these are really just statement graphics in here. And then I have the URL that we're driving to. We have the creatives right here. We have this uploaded to Google Drive. We have the primary text right here. And then we have the headlines. We're not gonna have any description. And then finally, we have the call to action button, which is shop now. So let's go ahead and create a production campaign for this at $300 per day. We're going to hop into our ads manager, and then we're going to create a sales campaign. Once we've created the sales campaign, we're going to name this campaign Phase 3, and this is going to be the production, and this is going to be our new t-shirt, Sam Eagle. That's the name of the t-shirt here. We're gonna scroll down. We're gonna leave catalog ads off. From a budgetary standpoint, we only have 1 ad set in here, and we're going to keep the budget on the campaign level. Now, we could do on the ad set if we had other ad sets and ads that we were cycling in, but we are not going to. In fact, with production campaigns, we want to continue scaling with as least variables as possible, so our spend is consolidated here. I'm gonna set this budget to $300. Wonderful. And then I'm going to press next. Now, on the ad set level, this is where all we're going to do is we're going to keep a similar naming convention. I'm going to come back to my ad planner. As you can see, the naming convention we're using on each ad is statement graphic 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to go ahead and call this ad set statement graphic. Perfect, because we're going to have 3 statement graphics underneath it. Now, as far as conversion location, we have a video on determining whether you should run to website or shop. You can check that video out. We have calculations to help you run to determine what you should do. But what we know for this brand is that website works best. So I'm going to go ahead and select website. As I scroll down, we're going to maximize for a number of conversions. And under the data set, I'm going to select my pixel. And the conversion event will be set to purchase. Continue scrolling down. On the start date, we always like to start the next day, usually at 12 a.m. And the reason we do this is because then it allows us to have a full 24 hours of spend. We're going to come down here. We're going to leave this wide open. We are trying to scale this campaign, and so we are not going to start touching anything. You could limit reach and set all kinds of parameters on this, but we are not going to do that. We're going to leave everything wide open for our audience to find. Once we've done this, we're going to hit next and move down to the ad level. Now on the ad level, we're going to name it what we have here. So this would be statement graphic 1, 2, and 3. Pretty simple. We're going to come down to create. We're going to leave this on single image or video. We are not running a flex ad here. We're going to leave multi-advertiser ads on. And then I need to go ahead and grab the URL. I'm going to grab this URL and paste it right there. Beautiful. Then we're going to set up our ad by hitting Setup Creative, and we're going to make an image ad. Now inside here, Meta is going to default to these site link extensions. We're going to turn these off. We are, however, going to leave our catalog items on. We see this do very well. We're going to hit next, and we're going to go to primary text. Copy my primary text right here. We're going to pop back. We're going to paste it. I'm then going to go ahead and grab my headline here. I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to paste it. Now, occasionally, you might notice that Meta will automatically check these for you. Go ahead and deselect those. We typically do not see those do very well. We're going to deselect those. Then we're going to come down and change our call to action because we are not doing a description, so we're going to leave that blank. Then we'll press next. Now this is where we get to upload those images that we have. I'm going to press upload, and then I have those ads all right here. A little hack here, you could press one and hold shift, and then you could select the other ones and just bulk upload them to save a little bit of time. I'm going to do the first ad right here, and I'll press next. We're going to go ahead and leave these on the original sizing so that way it doesn't crop it. If I go to 9:16, you'll notice it crops it right here, and it's not going to look good. So we're going to go ahead and leave this on original, and we're going to leave enable flexible media right here. We're going to press next, and this is where it's also now going to begin to try to do some AI image generation. We're going to skip this and continue. We're going to leave on all optimizations and then press done. There we go. We now have our first ad created. We're going to leave flexible media on. We have our primary text and headlines in here. We have our call to action. We're also going to leave optimized text per person. We want that also on. It should automatically be enabled. But then we're going to scroll down, and there is a little thing here that Meta likes to do. They like to keep on promo codes, and they like to keep on email sign up offer. Now, I'm not going to dive into whether you should or shouldn't in this video. If you're running a promo with this kind of a campaign structure, you might want to leave this on, but we are not. So we're going to deselect those. Once you've created this first ad, the other two are a little bit faster because we can simply duplicate this one and then just tweak the copy and tweak the creative. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to come over here and press the three dots. We're going to press duplicate, existing campaign, existing ad set. And we're going to make two copies here and press duplicate. There we go. Now I'm going to come to my ad planner. We're going to name this statement graphic 2. So let me edit this one. Come back over here. They're the same URL the whole way through, but I do have different primary text, so I'm going to copy that. And then I can scroll down and replace the copy, replace the headline. See, now it gets a little bit faster. And then the final thing I need to do is I do need to change the creative. So I'm going to go ahead and just remove the media, and then I'm going to add a new image. Sometimes it makes you re-cancel these site links, so we're just going to go ahead and do that. We'll hit next. Obviously, we already have the primary text in here. Now I'm just going to select this second image. I'm going to make sure it's all original, so nothing is getting cropped. We're going to skip the AI, make sure the optimizations are on, and press done. We've officially created the second ad, but I am going to scroll down here, and as you notice, it turned these promo codes back on. So I'm going to deselect those, and then we're going to repeat this process for the third one. We're going to name the statement graphic number 3, pop over here, to primary text. Once I've uploaded this final third ad, all I need to do is hit review and publish. And once I publish this, I've officially put myself in the next phase of getting to $1,000 per day over the next week with proven ads. If you found this helpful, please give this video a comment or a like. And of course, if you're an e-commerce brand wanting to learn how to grow even more, then subscribe to our channel where we drop content like this every single week.